So last night, before I got myself ready for bed, because I had to be at work today, which currently I'm at, but I have about 63 minutes before I clock in, I was scrolling through the internet. I was scrolling through the internet, and I decided out of curiosity to check out what Equestria Daily had to say. And I looked at Equestria Daily, and what surprised me was there was some news on Sparity, which is the ship name, the romantic ship name for Spike and Rarity from Friendship is Magic. And what was interesting about what I found is, of course, over the past week or so, Lauren Faust decided to take, I don't know if it was her granddaughter or her daughter's OC character that she drew, which was a female dragon, and she decided to kind of give it an upgrade, a bit of a makeover, if you will, in the artistic department, and kind of, declare that this character, which her granddaughter considered Spike's girlfriend, was canon, and that she had spoken it into being. That basically her being the one behind Friendship is Magic basically said, hey, I have spoken this to be, and it shall be. And I looked at that, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I just chuckled. I just chuckled at that because I'm thinking, seriously, Lauren Faust, out of all the time, out of all the times you could have done this before, you decide now, 3 years after the show is over and we're into G5, now you decide to do it. And then to top it all off, she decides to go on Twitter and basically say, yeah, the whole Spike Rarity thing, it was more like, a young kid having a crush on his babysitter. Now, everybody has kind of voiced a similar opinion, but the majority of opinions kind of saw it a different way. They kind of saw it like, yeah, there's something more there, but, besides a crush. There's something more there, but, besides a crush. And never once did they ever have Rarity talk him down from it, whether it was in the show or in the comics. And Lauren Faust, I think, knows that. If not, no, I don't think, I believe, in fact, I know she knows that, I should say. So, on top of that, we had Equestria Daily decide to put out a little poll of whether or not Spike and Rarity would have ended up together, and a majority of the poll said no. But only by, I would say, 35%. Because right below it was yes. Now, true, it is disappointing to kind of see, a majority of people say no, but I don't think necessarily those are all true fans of the show from the beginning to the very end, or at least fans that kind of have an idea as to, what made this ship, or what makes this ship special in the eyes of a lot of folks. But also the question now comes into being is why? Why would Lauren Faust decide, now of all times to, come out and say this? And like I said earlier, like a lot of people kind of got a chuckle, out of what she did for her granddaughter's OC character, the girlfriend of Spike, as, they would call it, or her daughter alluded it to, or to being. We all got a chuckle out of that. We also probably all got a chuckle out of what she said, afterwards in a tweet. And the reason I believe we got a chuckle out of that is because we know that she could have easily, out of all the times that the show was on, out of all the seasons, even after she left, she could have very easily done this. She could have gone on Twitter between, seasons 3 and up to the last one and said this kind of stuff or declared this kind of stuff. We know that. But she didn't. She just accepted it as being. In fact, I guarantee you, if she wanted to, when she would appear at the conventions over the years that she did, including the last BronyCon, she could have basically announced that Spike and Rarity is not a thing. She could have done it then. Or somebody could have asked her about it, and she could have given her this answer then. But she didn't. And the reason she's choosing now is because she's having fun. She's having fun looking back at the fact that, wow, I can't believe, fans actually supported the ship. So I'm going to have a little fun. And what I mean by that is she's going to basically see how they would react if the goddess, if you will, the alicorn of alicorns, if you will, would come out and say, yeah, Spike and Rarity never happened. Or it shouldn't have happened. Or it was just supposed to be this way. And if that's the case, like I said, she could have said something years ago during the show's run, but she didn't. As a matter of fact, if she wanted to, she could have left some notes, behind for Melissa McCarthy and what's her name, Nicole, basically, I think. Can't think of her last name right now. Dang it. Let me know in the comments, guys. But she could have let the people that took her over after her, Megan and Megan McCarthy, not Melissa, but Megan McCarthy and Nicole. She could have let Megan and Nicole know via notes, not to do certain things, not to push certain things or focus on certain things. She could have done the same with the IDW comics. She could have left notes for them and said, hey, don't do certain things here because it might seem a little weird or it might seem a little awkward. But she didn't do that. She didn't. Instead, things just kept trucking along and trucking along and trucking along. I mean, let's not forget, Lauren Faust declared the fact that when Spike saw Rarity, he was like our eyes to see how beautiful Rarity was. That outside of this beauty, she was also very generous, and he could see that. He could see how beautiful she was, along with that generosity. But let's also not forget that she was part of several episodes in the 2 seasons that she was there. A dog and pony show. I think that's when he wanted to go rescue Rarity, be her knight in shining armor, and have that fantasy. Secret of My Excess. When he did that whole situation there with the fire ruby and all that. The thing is, guys, it's not something we should take seriously. Whether we're contributing to Equestria Daily, commenting on these topics and all that. When I look at what Lauren Faust is saying now, 3 years after the show ended, I don't think we need to take it seriously. Because again, anybody that has created these kind of versions of established characters, no matter what the franchise is, if they decide to leave, they would at least basically leave notes behind, little, cliff notes or little liner notes, indicating that there are certain things that they do not want to see occur, or they would like, not to be, focused on, or maybe even teased, or, made to look like it's going to be legit and all that. So, and creators, whether it's of a show, whether if it's a franchise that's comic book based or cartoon based or whatever, have been known to do that. And those that come after them, usually at times, if not most, will try to honor and respect those notes. Try to honor and respect, the wishes of the original creators. But, as far as I know, Lauren Faust never did that. Lauren Faust never basically said, look, Megan, after I leave, I don't want you to do these certain things. And honestly, Megan never really did put focus on Sparity as much as, let's say, Nicole did afterwards. She never did that. She would put some moments in there here and there, including even with the movie, but, never once did she really give it, the time and day like Nicole did after her. or even Lauren Faust did even previously. But Megan did kind of, I guess you could say, honor the wishes of Lauren, even though I don't think Lauren left her any notes of, to do such a thing. And I think it's mainly because Megan was more of a storyteller and a character developer. That's what she was. She just wanted to focus on how the stories would come across to the fans and how the characters would develop and grow from those stories. Nicole was Nicole, what was it, Dubuque? Yeah, Dubuque, that's the name I was looking for. Dubuque. She was the same way, but she also, I think, kind of was a fan of certain things. I mean, this is why we saw certain elements and even characters show back up, years later, seasons later, like the Sparity ship, like cheese sandwich and so on. We saw all this kind of get brought back and refocused because I think, along with someone that kind of learned from Megan, she also wanted to basically be somebody that, well, probably knowing that these were going to be the last seasons, wanted to give, as a fan herself, wanted to give back to the fans in general. She wanted to give back to her fellow fans, and that's why we saw a lot of these elements and, characters make a return. Even, like I said, certain ships even, making a return as well. I mean, Cheese Sandwich, Pinky, Spike, Rarity, you name it. So, to bring it back to this, the question obviously is, why? Why would Lauren come out 3 years later and say this? And again, I think it's all in jest. I think it's all in fun. I think she knows, if not think, but I believe she knows that pretty much fans have already accepted Sparity as being a thing. Some that have even been against it now accept it because they want to show basically the older version of Spike being with Rarity than the younger version. So there's that. And again, I think it's just all in fun. It really is all in fun. I mean, let's be honest. Spike and Rarity, even though she developed who they are for the show, they're owned by Hasbro. And if Hasbro wants to decide, hey, we're going to use the Sparity ship kind of stuff to help promote things, then so be it. I mean, like I showed you guys in one video, and people have mentioned this, there was a Valentine's Day gift set basket, if you will, where one of the items, which I think were watercolor, which was a little box of water paints or something like that, at the bottom left hand, or the bottom left corner of the box, you had Spike on top of Rarity. And not in that manner. Get your mind out of the gutter, okay? Not in that manner. Get your mind out of the gutter. But you had Spike riding on top of Rarity. And in the upper right-hand corner, you had Fluttershy acting like a Cupid. And the way the box was designed, it made it look like Cupid Fluttershy was shooting the arrow towards Spike and Rarity. So, again, if Hasbro wants to promote stuff with, Spike and Rarity, then so be it. Lauren Faust really doesn't have that much say. All she really did was develop the characters as they are. That's it. She just developed them as they are, was there for the first couple of seasons, and then gave the reins to Megan. Megan then gave the reins to Nicole, and the rest is history. The rest is history, and that's it. So, when I look at this, again, going back to the beginning, to the start of this, when I look at Lauren saying these kind of things, and I look at Equestria Daily doing what they did, like I said, I just get a chuckle. I, along with everybody else, get a chuckle out of this because we know it's all in fun. We know we don't have to take it seriously, and we know and believe that Lauren Faust realizes this as well. She's just saying this because maybe her granddaughter does kind of get on the internet and probably will hear from her friends. And maybe she wants to just bring a smile to her daughter's face when it comes to that. And I don't blame her. I mean, I'm a great uncle to a great niece who's 2 years old. And, one of the things me and my mom and my oldest sister, who's a grandma, and my second oldest sister, who's an aunt, if there's anything we like to do sometimes is make that kid happy. We kind of like to bring a smile to her face if we can do something special for her. And, to me, that's what Lauren Faust did here. And by doing so, like I said, we know and believe that she realizes, again, it's all in jest. It's just something that she did for her family, and she just thought she'd have a little fun with it with the fans. And that's it. That's all. So when I look at what Lauren Faust said, and we ask the question, why now of all times, we basically have to remind ourselves, it's all in fun. That's all it is. It's all in fun. It shouldn't be taken seriously. And just leave it at that. Just leave it at that, because let's be honest. Like I said, if she wanted to, she could have left out notes and everything to make sure it didn't happen. But she didn't. And now there's so much Sparity, Spike and Rarity fan art, web comics, stories, fan fiction stories, out there, that Lauren Faust can't deny that by putting that crush and making it into something more somewhat with Secret of My Excess and kind of leaving it at that, laid the groundwork for it. She has to admit she kind of laid the groundwork here. And there's no denying that. There's no denying that. And on top of it, ladies and gentlemen, alongside everything I just mentioned, that's, sprouted from the Sparity deal, you have some official stuff. Like I mentioned, you had that Valentine's Day gift thing, with the water paints. You have, what was it? Ironically, when the holiday Christmas season, you had the annual holiday spectacular from several years ago. Well, basically, Spike and Rarity went on a date together to all the places that Rarity wanted to, attend, and she was willing to go out of the way to let Spike ride her back to Canterlot, in the snow and everything, and the way it's designed, and the way it's written up, the way it's the way it's written up, drawn, the moments towards the end. I mean, come on, again. If Lauren Faust didn't want something like this to happen, she would have said something years ago. But she didn't. And you have, like I said, you have official things like that. You have other moments in the comics that kind of, show it too. You have that Finland exclusive book that hopefully will get an international translation and released internationally called Pony Named Spike, where basically he kind of has, I guess the cutie mark he gets changes depending on his emotions or how he feels, and one of the cutie marks is a picture of Rarity, picture of Rarity's face, inside a heart. I mean, come on, and I think maybe there is a moment there. So again, Lauren Faust, like I said, I know I'm repeating myself here, but it does bear repeating. Lauren Faust could have, said something years ago, but she didn't. And she didn't because basically she probably didn't realize how far this was going to go, how popular it was going to be with the fans. And most importantly, when we look at why she's doing it now, why she's saying stuff now, she's just doing it in fun. It's in jest. It's in fun. It's in jest. And that's all we have to leave it at. That's all we have to leave it at. I mean, everybody listening to this here on YouTube and on my BW Rosas audio podcast across platforms like Spotify and iTunes and Anchor and all that, even they realize that. even they realized that this was just in fun. We don't need to take it seriously. I mean, I know there's a lot of non-Sparity supporters out there that will jump at it. We know that. But again, it's something not to take seriously because it's just in jest. It's just in fun. It's kind of like when people decide to draw, Sonic with Bunny Rabbit instead of Sally, because they feel that's a better pair, or better ship, if you will. Or they decide, let's put Sally with Tails, but we're going to age him up a little bit. It's like, it's kind of weird, but it's also in fun. It's just, they're having fun doing all these different pairings and these different ideas and stuff. And, people just have to look at it, in that manner. They have to look at it in that manner. Even from an adult, fan fiction standpoint or webcomic standpoint, it's like if you decide, okay, let's have Tails get it on intimately with Vanilla. Vanilla the rabbit. It's like, yeah, it's weird and everything to read about read about them doing the dirty or see them doing the dirty and everything. But still, it's all in fun. It's all in jest. And that's how you got to look at it this way. As strange as the comparison to that is. You got to look at it like that. I mean, heck, you want an even better example, look at PAL Comics and some of their adult web comics. One of them is with Spike basically having his own harem. It's like, seriously. But the point I'm getting at is, just like those comparisons, as strange as they were, when you look at Lauren Faust choosing now of all times to say this stuff, it's all in fun. It's all in fun. And like I said, she's mainly doing it to make her granddaughter, happy. So that her granddaughter could go to school and, be happy with the knowledge that if she has friends that are fans of MLP, she has the knowledge of basically saying, yeah, my OC's canon now. My OC, Spike's girlfriend is canon. My grandma said so. She's spoken. And you can't tell me that wouldn't impress some of her friends. But again, even though she would take that, I guess you could say that bragging right with her, Lauren Faust knows that to anybody outside of, her family, her granddaughter, like the fans, the Bronies, the Pecca sisters, we all see it as just being fun, just doing something kind and nice and everything. But again, we see it as fun, and we know and believe that she knows and realizes that it's all in fun, it's all in jest, and that we shouldn't take it seriously. But what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section below. Like the video as well. Live chat during the premiere. Support me over at BW Rose's Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also, support me at Venmo at Brian-1-2. Cash App at BW Roses 98. Also, ladies and gentlemen, support me at Patreon.com for the $1 or $3 tier. Also, ladies and gentlemen, check me out at VENMO at BW Roses for content you can't get anywhere else. Also, check me out at DeviantArt.com, so that's BVW1979. And go check out my Teespring store just in time for the holiday season for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with what I said? Let me know down below in the comments section. And until next time, guys, as I try to unlock my phone here, until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later.